Hi everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I am back with card number 3 from my online class. It is called Ring with Nature. So we're using the Ring of Nature bundle, and we are also using the decorative mask, the Abundantly Beautiful. So beauty that we'll be using to create these cards. So let's get started. This time I am using the houndstooth background from the mask bundle, and I did some little die cutting and added some little trees or tree stumps over here, and then I have Thinking of You. So let's get started on how I made this card. So I'm going to set that off to the side. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do some sponging. So I've already used this piece in the last video, so we're just going to flip her right over and use her again. So I've got one of my sticky templates. I got a new one because my other one wasn't quite holding up anymore. I got to clean it. You're going to take the piece of white cardstock that's in there. Not the off-white, we're going to use the white. I'm just going to put this so it lines up at the bottom of this, no particular reason. Just where I thought it would be good to go. I'm just going to line this houndstooth up just like this also and stick it down. I am going to use a couple pieces of tape again. Just, I don't know, it might move. But this way I know I have extra security on it. So there we go. So now for these, for the colors that I used in this, I used crumb cake, I used wild wheat, and I used granny apple green. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to start with the granny apple green. We're going to take the granny apple green and we're going to take our blending brush. We're going to take it, I'm going to dab a little bit off onto the paper to see how juicy my pad is, to see how much ink comes off on it. Okay, I'm happy with that. I am just going to start up here in this corner someplace, and I am just going to work my way down and around. Just kind of like a little rainbow area. And you can get it as dark or as light as you would like it. That's all I'm doing with that one. So we're done with the granny apple green for now. Then I'm going to take my wild wheat, and again I'm going to dab it up. I'm going to go off the page a little bit to see how juicy. That one looks pretty juicy, so I might not want to put as much pressure. So again, we're going to dab it up here. We're going to go a little bit on this side with the wild wheat, going right into that green. Right there. Then we're going to do a little bit on this side, going into that green. Okay, so it looks just like that. No two are going to be exactly the same. This is just the look that you're trying to go for. Now I am going to be bringing in the crumb cake, and I forgot my crumb cake brush. I got my other one up here. Yep, this I think is crumb cake. Yep. And I'm going to take the crumb cake, again, dab it off, sponge it on the paper, and now we're going to go all the way around this card. And I want this a little bit darker, so I'm really giving it, you know, the push down. I'm going to rotate my thing because it's just easier for me being left-handed. Going around just like so. Get up here on the edges. Just double check all your colors before, and even though you do them a little bit dark, they will lighten up, as you could tell. So if you think, oh, that's too dark, then remember it does lighten up. So now let's get this crumb cake out of the way for a minute. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel off the mask. This you just take and run under water and it'll clean it all up. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip this down and peel off the paper. Now, what I would do in between videos is I would just take a baby wipe to this. So that's what I will do and clean it up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to get my crumb cake back out and I'm going to sponge all the way around the outside of this. Not too dark, but just to give it a little bit of something something to make it look a little more fallish to me, I guess. I know my 20-year-old daughter really liked this card. She goes, this is one of my favorites, because I show them to them and, you know, what do you think? Ask their opinion. And this was one of her favorites. And the house one was one of her favorites too, the last one. So now it looks something like that. So now we're going to do some die cutting. Then we're going to come back and do some more sponging. I will be fast forwarding and stuff through the die cutting because these videos are extra long because of the fact of all the sponging and stuff that we have to do. So let's set this aside and I'm going to talk about some die cutting. So here we have, oh, sorry, wrong color. Here we have some crumb cake and some very vanilla. I am going to get this big die and we are going to die cut this out. I'm not worried that this is hanging off because I want the large and the medium. I believe it's this one that I wanted. Oh, that one goes in there. Yes, and this one goes in here. So I want these two dies. So if these are hanging off on the end, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to do this for this one, and then I'll come back and cut this out. You have extra paper, but I wanted to make sure that you guys had enough for die cutting this. So I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to set this up on my, I have an electric machine, so, and then I'm going to run this through. Now this was platform 1, 2, and 3. Then you put your paper, your die cutting die, and then platform 3. Like this. Now, when this was sold in the last year's catalog, it was sold as a bundle. Now they sell the die in this embossing folder as a bundle. So to find that in the catalog, you have to go to the embossing folders, and they have them as a bundle, and then the stamp set is sold separately. So just to let you know, because when I was re-looking just recently, I realized that. So now we're going to do some embossing. And for this, what you got to do is I want you to take, and I want you to sit, you're going to look at these shapes that are on here. And this one is this shape right here. And you're just going to flip it. You could feel there's a right side and a wrong side. There's like a little bit of an edge from where it cut. One side doesn't have that. You're going to flip so this lines up right in here, just like that. And then you're going to take this one, the other one, you're going to flip it also, and you're going to line that right up in there, just like that. Then you're going to close the embossing folder. You're going to put platform 1, you're going to put your embossing folder down, then you're going to put platform 4, which is your gray folder. And then we're going to put this right up here and we're going to run it through. Now you're probably thinking, Bonnie, why didn't you emboss it before you cut them out? There's a couple reasons. It flattens your embossing. If you embossed it all first, then you ran it through, it will flatten it. You won't have the fun texture when you run it back through. So I didn't want that to happen, so this way, I did it this way. Same thing with this. Feel for the edge and then line this up. And when you do that, it kind of fits right in the place that you want it to go. Was it this one? I didn't realize I grabbed two of them. And now I have to, yep, it was this one. Okay, so here we go. So then we're going to put this one down just like that. Close it up. We're going to put platform 1 down, the embossing folder, and then platform 4, the gray. And you're doing the same thing as if you were cranking it. Okay. There we go. And now we have all our stuff embossed. So now we can get this out of the way. Okay. And now I can put this stuff back in here. So I don't, well, back in my metal bucket. Okay. Now, oh wait, I'm like, what happened to all my leaves? I never popped them all out. Gotta do that. Okay. Okay. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take some of our inks here. We're going to take the crumb cake ink, set them off to the side, and we're going to take these two little, oh, wrong one. No, that is the right one. And we are going to sponge around the outer edge of this. I just wanted them a little bit darker so it would match the outer edge on here. So this is kind of what I did for these. Okay, set that aside. Then we're going to do the same thing with this one. And this also brings out the texture of the design that is on your wood that you just embossed to. So that's why I didn't emboss the papers first, because it would have flattened them if I had embossed them and then tried to die cut them out, because when you put them back through, it's going to flatten it, and you don't want that. So now we're going to do some coloring to this one. And we are going to take the wild wheat and we're going to add some color to these. Just to sponge a little bit off. And go as dark or as heavy or as not as heavy as you want. I thought it gave it like I don't even know what kind of wood this is, but it looked wood, like some type of a color that would be in the wood, and I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not going to re-ink this one again. I think it's good. Sometimes you don't have to, and the more you do it, then there we go. And I just left a very little bit of white kind of in the center, or the vanilla. Okay. Now we're going to flip this card over, or my paper, so you can see a little bit better. Okay, put my card base back in the middle. So we have some Granny Apple Green 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to fold it in half at score at 4 1/4. Okay, just like this. Then we have some wild wheat. And this is our next layer. And let's see, what is this? 5 1/4 by 4. Then we have this piece, but first we got to add some stuff to it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to match up our pieces here. And if you see, there's little notches and there's notches on here. If you make sure you have the right notch on the right one, they line up perfectly right in there. And I don't have them on the right one. I had it right the first time. There we go. And then we can go ahead and we can glue this down. So take a little bit of your liquid glue. Ooh, dropped it. Probably have to line it back up again now. Put some adhesive kind of all over it. There we go. Flip it over. Line it up. Just like that. Then we're going to do the same thing to this one. Yep. I like to make sure it's on there, outside of it really well, because we're going to cut it, and you don't want the piece that you cut be the piece that you also end up, not putting any glue on. So now what I'm going to do is I ended up popping this one up, and I put this one down flat. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want this to be. I think I kind of have it like this. I kind of like this up here. So kind of like this. So I'm going to attach this one down flat. And this is where I need my silicone mat again, because I don't know if I have any glue going to be sticking off here. I may. I just cleaned all my scissors and all my blocks last night from all the glue and gook from cutting stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one right here, but I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. And I got some of them right here. Here, we'll use this piece. Get that piece that I used from the other day. Use that up. Okay. And I don't really know where I'm going to be cutting this. I just know that I may even cut off some dimensionals, but we're just going to go with this. And I kind of want it, yeah, I kind of want it like, I only have a little bit of that showing there. So just like that. That looks good. Then we're going to grab my scissors. We're going to flip this over. And we are going to cut right up this. There we go. So just like that. I did get into a little glue, so I'm definitely going to have to clean them again. Okay. Okay, so this looks starting to come together. So now I'm going to take one of the wheat. I'm just going to add, let's see, yeah. Make sure I'm putting the glue on the right sides of these. If you want, you can add a dimensional to this, but I feel it's not hanging off that much. I didn't feel that it needed a dimensional. There we go. And I just picked it up with my finger because my fingers got a little glue on them. Then I'm just going to add this one right here, but kind of up a little bit more. This made me think of the days that I used to go cut wood with my dad and mom. So we had a wood burning stove, and our wood, like, it would be out in the grass, and you'd have to go out there and cut it, and this is like tree limbs and grass growing around it, kind of. And it's okay that it's hanging off. I will get that on the next round. So then I took a couple of these and I just kind of tucked them in. I tucked one in this way. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the backs. I'll tell you, with this little decaled stuff, I am absolutely loving my little die cut machine here. I have fine tip written on the bottom of this because the other one, and this, I'm using up this glue. It's not the Tombow glue. That's what came with it. I do have my Tombow glue in my other one, but it's got the thick end on it. So I don't know why I cut 2 of them. Okay, guys, I don't really know, but you do not need this one. So you don't need an extra one in the end. I thought you needed 2 of them, but looking at this again, you do not. But I want to put Tombow in this, so I'm trying to use it up. I don't want to be wasteful and just dump it. It's not a bad glue, but you just really have to hold it sometimes, that whatever came with it. So it's not my favorite. I like Stampin' Up's liquid glue, the Tombow glue. I really enjoy that glue. Okay, so now we're going to trim this off right there. Then we're going to make we're going to add this actually to the card first, right here. So I am just attaching this down flat. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to go and we are going to make our bow. We should have 2 pieces here. And we have one long one and then another. I wanted a fairly long tail for this one, so I left about that much hanging. And then I just wrapped this around until I had about that same amount on the other side. And then we're going to gather this up again, grab our tweezers as our little helper, pinch them in there, see, another reason why you want the little helper, because if you do something like that, you can catch it. There we go. There we go. And then we'll put this underneath. We're going to tie a bow, or a knot, I should say. Knot onto the tweezers. And then we can unattach this. Put this down towards the middle. You can make a couple of these longer if you want, or some shorter, however you want to pull them. I like that. And then I'm going to bring over and I'm going to grab another glue dot, and I still have not found what I did with my other ones. I don't know what I did with them. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to put 2 on here because this is extra thick. And then I'm just going to peel these off. And I'm going to just attach this right here, just like so. And I like the longness of this. This one here is a little bit too long, so we will. Very sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. Thought it was muted. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I like that. If you want it even shorter, you can make it shorter, but I think it looks pretty and it'll all fit in the envelope. All right, now the last thing we got to do is take our scrap piece of white. We're going to take, well, not the last thing, because we have one other thing too. We're going to take this, and I forgot to get out the stamp. In here it says thinking of you, and I thought this is a great card really for any time of the year. And then we are going to get a block here, and then the crumb cake, and we're going to stamp this right there. Oh, there we go. We're going to trim around this. I see, I gotta clean my scissors. I got a piece of glue. Must be sticky. I just cleaned them. I got a, what do you call it? A piece of paper, not glue, stuck to the tip of my scissors. There we go. Then we are going to take, and we're going to take and add, I added dimensionals. We're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And we're going to put this right here, right in here somewhere. I think that looks good. And then I took some of these new adhesive dots. These are sparkled dots. And I took the green ones because I thought it just brought out the Granny Apple in this. And I absolutely loved it. Oh, and I am just going to put a few everywhere on this card. So it looks like that. So that's card number 3, everybody. I will be back with card number 4.